Hi, welcome back to Dr. Recaps. Today I'm going to explain thriller horror movie called The Shallows 2016. Watch out and support this new channel. In the beginning of the film story, the girl is shown, whose name is Nancy. She came from America to Mexico because she wants to go to the sea here, where her mother came when Nancy was about to be born, and now her mother died of cancer. She came here to remember her mother, and now she is sitting in the car and going there, but she doesn't know the name of that place, so she shows the picture of her mother to the driver so that he recognizes this place and takes her there, because that driver was going to live here and knew about every place, so he takes Nancy from the jungle to the sea. Nancy was very happy to come here, and this place is very beautiful. The driver asks Nancy how to go back, on which she says that I will take a car and go, and she thanks him because he brought her here, after which he leaves from here. This place was completely deserted. Apart from Nancy, there were only two people in the sea who were surfing. Surfing means enjoying the high waves of the sea through the boat, because she also came here to surf. So she takes her surfboard and goes into the water. To surf, you have to wait for the high waves, and when Nancy was waiting, the two boys who were in the sea try to talk. Nancy tells them about herself, that I am from America. They say, wow, that's good, but Americans earn a lot here. Nancy says that there is something here that I should know, so tell me about it. They say that there are two rocks in the sea that sink completely in the water once a day, because this happens when the water level increases. Now, as soon as she saw the sea, big high waves began to come, where these three also start surfing with the waves of the sea. The three were having a lot of fun. Then she calls her sister in America, and when she was talking, then her sister takes her dad's phone. He tells Nancy, my daughter, please come back and complete your incomplete medical education. But she doesn't want to do that, because she has left medical education forever, because her mother died of cancer. Since then, she has lost faith in the medical world and has been broken a lot. Her dad tells her that if you are making your mother the reason for leaving education, then this is completely wrong, because your mother was brave and courageous. Nancy says, look, even then she left us and went away. But Dad, don't worry, I will come to meet you very soon. Dad asks, when? We are missing you a lot, son, on which she answers, I don't know, I'll just come, because actually she got emotional here. Then she cuts her phone and goes surfing again. Then she feels that there is something in the water, and then the dolphins immediately come out of the water. Nancy was looking very cute. That's why she comes into the sea while following them. She sees that there is a very big whalefish here, which is dead, and all the birds are sitting on it. But now the wave comes again, where Nancy starts surfing again, but suddenly something collides with her boat, because of which she goes out of control and falls down to the bottom of the sea. Her boat is also separated from her. Then when she comes up, she quickly gets her boat. Then when she hops on it, something in the water goes after her and starts pulling towards itself, due to which she could see the sides of the water. Yet at the same time, she some way or another emerges from the water and starts swimming towards the whalefish, since she can't go to the actual edge of Nancy, since she is extremely far when she was going towards the whalefish. Then, at that point, that thing in the water is likewise following her, which was nothing else except for a shark. Yet before that, she would have contacted her. Nancy would have arrived at the whalefish and hopped on it. The shark had harmed Nancy's leg, in view of which blood was emerging. She some way or another gets frightened and ties her legs, so her blood stops. Here those two young ladies who were surfing with Nancy, they were returning. Nancy remains on the whalefish and shakes her hand. She stops for her assistance. She calls out. However, she doesn't actually take a gander at her, since she was exceptionally distant from her. That is the reason she was unable to hear her voice. And afterwards she takes the vehicle and leaves from here. And presently Nancy is trapped in the sea, on top of a dead whalefish. She couldn't in fact go into the water. In light of the fact that the shark will kill her, there was no other person here to help her. Nancy glances around, where she sees rocks, which are somewhat over the water. And on the opposite side there was a buoy, which is additionally called a red sign, which is placed in the water, so the water level can be known, and in the event of crisis, it was utilized to save lives. he has secured areas of strength for with. And afterward she sees that the shark is coming towards her once more, and afterward, unexpectedly, she stirs things up around town fish. Nancy was on it, because of which she falls into the water, since she really needs to kill Nancy. Presently Nancy begins swimming that way, where there are rocks, where the shark begins following her. However, before that, Nancy rapidly moves up the stone. There was a bird on this stone, which was harmed by the whalefish, since it was likewise sitting on the whalefish. When the shark hit it, there is a wound on its wing, so it can't fly. In this way, Nancy and the bird got stuck on this rock, because of which Nancy's leg is badly injured. That's why she takes out her hair from her ear and puts her leg on the part where her flesh is scattered. It is obvious that she is in a lot of pain. She was putting a kind of leg in which she was using her hair. Then she ties her jacket to her leg slowly. It is completely night, and then she sees that her surfing board is in the water. She wants to take it. That's why she looks around, that the shark is not there. And when she believes that the shark is not there, then she gets into the water and slowly starts to move towards the board. And then she sees that the shark is coming towards her. That's why she comes back quickly and climbs up the rock again. It is obvious that Nancy's leg is in a lot of pain. After this, it is morning. Nancy sees that there is a drunkard lying on the beach, and she starts shouting loudly, "Get up, please help me," because this man is not far from her. That's why he hears Nancy's voice and immediately gets up. Then Nancy tells him with gestures, "Go that way, there is my bag, in which there is a phone. You call someone and call for help." That man gets Nancy's bag, but he was drunk. That's why he puts his money and mobile in his pocket. He hangs the bag and starts going from here. Then that man's eyes float in the water. Nancy goes to the surfing board, because of which he gets greedy. He thinks that I will steal it and take it with me. I will sell it and get some money. That's why he immediately goes into the water and quickly reaches the surfing board. But when he was coming from there, then the shark attacks him and kills him and eats him. Now Nancy has only 6 hours, because after 6 hours, the sea level will rise, and Nancy has saved herself on this stone. He will also drown in the water, and then he will have no way to escape from the shark. But he was lucky, because the same two girls come here again, who had surfed with Nancy, and they were coming towards him in the water. Nancy screams and tells them, "Go away from here. There is a shark in the water," on which he says, "No, no, don't worry. There is no shark in the water." And then the shark attacks one of them. She puts it in her mouth and takes it into the water. The other boy is very scared, and to save his life, he quickly starts to go towards Nancy, because somehow he has to reach the stone. He quickly reaches the stone. Nancy was pulling him up. Then suddenly the shark attacks him from below and pulls him and takes him into the water. And in this way, a hope, which Nancy had seen a while ago, it was completely over. And now he had only half an hour left, inside which he had to get out of here, because after that the stone will sink in the water. Nancy was looking at the shark in the water, which was circling around him. She sees that if I get into the water, then I will only have 30 seconds, because after 30 seconds the shark will reach me in the same water. A helmet is visible, which had a camera on it, and this was the same boy who Nancy was pulling up, and she gets into the water, but the camera does not reach his hand, because he had gone far away. And then the shark comes to him and tries to come to the top of the stone, because there was a little water on the stone, and because of this, Nancy falls into the water below the stone. Now the shark also wanted to come to him, but there were sharp stones and bushes here, in which the shark gets stuck. Taking advantage of this, Nancy comes back to the same stone where she was before, and she had succeeded in bringing the helmet with her, which had a camera on it. She starts making a video in the camera, in which she says that a whalefish died here, and the shark is in the water. The shark thinks that I have come in the middle of her food. That's why she's attacking me again and again. After this, Nancy records a message for her dad and sister. She says that I never thought that I would miss you so much. But yes, don't worry about me at all, because I'm not alone here. But I have a little companion with me. Saying this, she shows the whale in the camera, who is with her. Then she says, "Dad, I will definitely try to reach that boy in the red signal, and no matter what happens, I will not stop fighting. I will work with courage, just like Mom used to do, and she taught us the same way." after which she puts the camera back in the helmet and throws it far away in the water so that the helmet reaches the shore and someone gets his message. Or his family. Now Nancy had fixed the wings of the bird, but the bird was still not flying. That's why she puts it on a surfing board and pours it into the water so that it reaches the shore. And now Nancy has only a few minutes left. If she wants to escape, she will have to reach the red signal. But the problem was that she was a minute away from here, and within 30 seconds, the shark reached her. But apart from this, she had no other way, and now she is preparing to jump into the water. Since her legs are practically in the water, when she sees that jellyfishes are coming up, and whoever swims close to the jellyfishes, they dunk it, and Nancy found in the water that when the shark came to kill her, then, at that point, the green brambles in the water had messed with her, which made a great deal of torment the shark. So that's what she grasps on the off chance that I swim close to the jellyfishes, the shark won't come there. And presently Nancy bounces into the water, where the shark begins following her, and following 30 seconds, the shark contacts her. However, up to that point, under the water, the jellyfishes trap themselves, so the shark can't contact her. And this likewise occurs when the shark attempts to contact her. Then, at that point, because of the jellyfish's dunk, she moves back, and Nancy rapidly arrives at the sign chains while swimming, which was attached to areas of strength for beneath. After which she begins swimming upwards, where the shark follows her. Nancy arrived at the sign chains, and when she was scaling rapidly, then a pole of the chain breaks, in light of which Nancy falls straightforwardly on top of the shark, and that wreck bar, which was in Nancy's grasp. She goes after the shark and damages him a lot, and rapidly scales the sign once more. Along these lines, the shark was very angry. She lashes out. That is the reason she goes after the sign. She hits it hard, yet nothing happens to Nancy, since she was on top of the sign. Presently Nancy's karma by and by upholds her, since she sees a boat in the water. She conveys a message with a flare weapon on the sign. She discharged that flare towards the sky, that I'm here, I'm as yet alive, yet there is no utilization, on the grounds that the boat had turned by then. At that point, they lack the ability to see the flare, and here the shark is likewise attempting to raise a ruckus around town, and attempting to drop it. Since Nancy was on top of it, that is the reason she sees that there is a ton of oil around the whale, in light of the fact that the oil emerges from the dead whale. And when the shark was going towards Nancy, Nancy discharged a flare weapon on the oil, in view of which the chute spreads there. The shark likewise gets injured, and her entire body begins copying. However, at that point in the wake of going into the water, her discharge goes out, yet this drives her crazy, and she begins going after the sign. She snatches it with her teeth, and tosses it into the water, and presently Nancy is additionally in the water. Yet to save herself, she traps herself in a little put on the sign, yet the shark's displeasure had expanded so a lot that she begins pulling the sign down with the assistance of her teeth. She likewise breaks it occasionally, and Nancy sees that the sign's chain is attached with an extremely impressive and thick pole, and she gets a thought. She begins jumping into the water, and starts pulling the piece of the chain, which is attached with the upper piece of the sign. She was doing this since her stomach had been deferred. The shark's teeth are likewise attached to a pole of the sign, and afterward, with extraordinary trouble, Nancy pulls the chain and isolates it from the signal. The chain was extremely weighty. That is the reason she begins pulling it down. Now the shark was additionally free. That is the reason she begins following Nancy. Nancy was going down exceptionally quick. There was a shark right behind her. Yet before that, Nancy's body crashes into the huge bars underneath. Nancy's body crashes into the enormous poles underneath. Nancy's body slams into the large bars underneath. She leaves the iron chain and shifts aside, yet the shark can't turn so quick. That is the reason the large, solid iron bars get inside the shark and cross her body, and along these lines, the risky shark is killed. After this, we see that Nancy has arrived at the ocean. A man comes to save her, because the camera in which Nancy recorded the message has arrived at the shore and tracked down a youngster, after which the kid brought her dad here. And along these lines, Nancy's dauntlessness and the energy to not lose, she emerges from this troublesome time. That's the reason we ought to continuously be courageous and ought to work with enthusiasm, regardless of how troublesome the circumstance is. This film closures here. Thanks for watching.